Listen, as I said to you before, one of the things that's irritated me all of my life, and particularly as I moved my life, which was pretty much, fresh fruit and vegetables and the meat you got from the butcher, to a much more processed lifestyle, is trying to buy stuff in a supermarket, and it usually is a supermarket these days, and being unable to work out what the hell was in the food that I was eating. And so when I, as you know, became a single parent responsible for children who were toddlers, I always assumed, and I mean avoided like the plague, buying children and infant um, processed food. I just wouldn't do it. And so every Sunday, can I tell you, was the day in which I made the children's food for the coming week. And then I'd put them into individual portions and then freeze them. But I had, oh God, I think about five, no, I had about 6 or 7 different recipes, and it was always ready, available for the kids to eat. But now increasingly, and listen, where did I learn that from? From watching my mother make them for my sisters when I was just a little bit older. I mean, oh, that's a muesli grater. Oh, that's how it all works. Cool. That's fine. And so I was able to also to disguise vegetables, can I say, 6 or 7 vegetables into every meal, or the choices of, as a consequence too, which was quite useful. And as I said, I made it my own. But one of the reasons why, and sometimes I know people are busy, I would go to the supermarket and go, I wonder if I should just, oh no, what the hell is in there? Well, a study recently led by the University of Auckland and by our next guest has reviewed packaging of more than 200 processed foods for infants and toddlers and found all featured marketing and nutrition claims which didn't necessarily stack up when they examined the ingredients. And there's the great fear that we are getting lied to by food manufacturers, particularly when it comes to our most vulnerable and frankly precious of gifts, and that is our children and our toddlers. Well, one of the leading researchers and authors of that particular academic study joins us now, Dr Sally Mackay. Sally, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be there.
You would have heard my introduction. Can you just tell me, though, why you went down this particular path of investigating the claims and what motivated you and your team to do so?
Yes, well, first of all, Michael, I'm really impressed with how you used to prepare food for your toddlers. That sounds like they had an amazing start for life and the food that they were given. And my kids are in their 20s now, so I didn't have all of those options available to them when they were toddlers. So I got quite a shock when I first started looking at these infant and toddler foods, just how many there were on the aisles and the marketing on them. What prompted us to do this research was WHO put out some guidelines for the nutrition and the composition and the marketing on infant and toddler foods. So we had a framework to work with, and we decided to have a look at the products in the New Zealand food supply, and some of our colleagues in Australia have done the same thing over there as well.
Okay, so it's good research. You want to see that it all stacks up. What was I've just read, I think, on the University of Auckland site, the headline, Baby and Toddler Foods Often Feature Misleading Claims. How bad are those misleading claims?
Well, I think when I looked at them, they manipulate parents into thinking that these products are healthy. They don't necessarily give incorrect information, but they give you the impression of healthiness. They create a health halo on these products that they often don't deserve. They also have like an average of 7 or 8 claims per package, and some of them had up to 15 claims. So that's a lot of information to read. And some of these products are quite small because they're only infant and toddler foods. So I've got an example of one beside me, which is called Strawberry and Blueberry Melty Corn Sticks. and it's got big pictures of strawberries, fresh strawberries, and fresh blueberries. And it talks about how it's got added iron and it's organic. And when I look at the back of it, it's 80% corn flour with a bit of strawberry powder and a bit of blueberry powder. So the images on it give the impression it's got all this fresh fruit in it, but it doesn't.
So the nutritional value of?
Well, there's not a lot of nutritional value in here. I mean, why do you want to feed your child corn flour?
I don't.
But
I
then
don't
they've
know.
added they've added iron to make it sound like it's healthier, and then a parent will think, my child might be low in iron, I'm going to buy these snacks for them. The other thing that really gets me is that they're really expensive. And so, our parents are kind of feeling they want to do the best for their children, and they feel like they've got to buy these expensive snacks.
Yeah, but you just said, can I just say your children and my children are the same age, so it's not like they grew up in a different generation. My children now are 16, 18 and 20. My younger children are 16, 18 and 20 that I did this for. Why do parents buy it anyhow when they can do it? I mean, I just go and get whatever the vegetables were. They'd be broccoli, they'd be pumpkin, they would be in some cases spinach. I remember always adding that. Always put in a potatoes. Great, why can't New Zealanders, young parents, make their own baby food?
Well, we don't actually know how many of them are buying these packaged foods and how many are making their own baby food because we don't have any good data about this. So it may be that some parents are just using these for those times when they need a really convenient option.
Yeah.
But I guess parents are using them for convenience. And these days, I mean, we know the cost of living, so parents are having to work more and so probably looking for these products that they can buy to feed their child on the go.
Yeah, but like I say, it's basic parenting 101 for me. I must have been raised in a different generation. But having said that, which is why I avoid them, and I avoid them like the plague, and I go past them, and listen, there's plenty of them in every supermarket aisle, so one assumes they're selling well.
Yes, and the other thing is that by the time a child's about one, they can generally have the family food. They might need to have it cut up a bit more or maybe a little bit less spicy. So there's also no need to prepare special foods once they get a little bit older. And we should really be encouraging them to eat with the family and eat with the same foods as the family as well.
You also say that 60% of packaged infant and toddler foods had images of fruit and 40% had pictures of vegetables, but many had very small amounts of either in the products that were available.
Yes.
You give the example, I think, of a snack food with a purple carrot in its name, which just contained a minuscule quantity of purple carrot juice and no actual vegetable. I mean, surely this sort of stuff is prosecutable, isn't it? I mean, it's false advertising, it's gross misrepresentation, and it's our most vulnerable and important and precious of children that are gaining or getting this kind of PAP.
Yeah, I agree. Like we found with the images of the fruit, 1 in 5 of those products with an image had less than 5% of fruit. So, yes, they are misleading there. One of the positive things that I'm hoping is going to happen is we have a joint food standards regulations with Australia, the Food Standards Australia, New Zealand food regulations. It's all quite complicated, but they are looking at working on having some regulations around infant and toddler foods. So my hope is that this will include these marketing claims as well.
Yeah, I have to say I had that discussion 20 years ago when I raised the issue with then Minister of Health, Annette King. And she said, yes. And she said to me that New Zealand is regularly outvoted when it comes to food standards by the Australian states. Does that strike you as being a risk here as well? And because many of these food manufacturers are actually based in Australia.